Hi, I'm Carol Dwyer, and I'm not reading from the book tonight, so. But this is called My Piece on Cancer. I was too young to note the publication of Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, but I did celebrate the first Earth Day by picking up litter on the way to high school. In 1971, Nixon declared a war on cancer. But I didn't notice. I was 16 then, and I was sure I was going to be 16 forever. Cancer was on the fringe of my life. Our culture was becoming more ecologically conscious. But the emphasis of the war on cancer dug deeply into the trenches of the cure, which is more profitable than the cause. This war on cancer reached my own family when Aunt Betty, Uncle Al, and then Aunt Janice lost their battles with cancer. There was an unspoken feeling that they did something wrong. There was a reason that they got it, a mistake that they made. Uncle Al worked as a plumber in vats of dye at a paper plant, and it poisoned his liver. Aunt Janice sat quietly smoking cigarettes while she knitted. She waited too long to notice the changes in her breast. Flash forward to 2009 and my own diagnosis of stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. In the language of war, I was handed a live grenade. What did I do wrong? I asked my doctors, and people asked me, did they say why you got cancer? I don't have a history of breast cancer in my blood relatives or the BRCA gene. It could have been swimming in the Hudson River as a child when the PCBs were high, or sewing a ton of cotton kimonos and breathing in the dust of the fabric's chemical finish. I also loved corn as a child. Was it sprayed with DDT? Or is it my long-held resentment and anger, as Louise Hay states in her book on healing? But wouldn't there be even more cancer if that was the case? There's a long list of possibilities, but my doctors assured me that it was not my fault. I wish that the biopsies of my cancer had tags to tell me which toxins warped my cells. When cancer became personal, I called my friend Diane Epstein. I was facing one of life's many worst-case scenarios, and she taught me how to breathe and allow the news to enter slowly. She taught me techniques to relax and to choose what I needed to do to live. I chose to welcome my chemotherapy and my surgery. I learned to imagine healing and protection, to open to the help and support of everyone involved in my cancer journey. My body needed to rest, and it took time to learn to accept that there were couch days. I had to accept that I needed a new measure of my value. I attended an unconditional healing retreat with Jeff Rubin, who taught me that healing is more than getting cured. Healing is about living emotionally and spiritually undiminished by disease. I learned to be grateful for my rest. I was grateful for the mindfulness of meditation and the distraction of good movies. The generosity of friends that cooked dinner for my daughter and me. I was grateful for my daughter's maturity to accept our temporary role reversal. Life did not turn out as we expected. Living with disease is now another aspect of my life. My doctors make recommendations for treatment through cyclical scans that measure and map where the cancer is in my body. I gratefully accept the longevity of the treatments that they offer. I see the drugs and surgeries not as toxic weapons of war, but tools for my survival. Then it is up to me to learn alternative ways to deal with the side effects of these treatments that saved my life. This does not feel like a war to me, but like a master's degree in being human, with a minor in personal study of illness. Carol, be brave, family and friends, encouraged me. It struck me early on that I would do what I needed to do for my children, but is that brave? Keep fighting, Carol. You'll win this battle. These comments made me squirm, but everyone meant well, so I accepted their encouragement. Fight the fight, Carol. You'll be a winner. Eventually, I was struck by the language of this war I was drafted into. It doesn't express my feelings. I didn't volunteer, and I don't want to fight. I want to live in peace. I reject this expectation that I'll automatically speak the language of war because I have cancer. I understand the barrage of test results can feel assaulting, making the language of war tempting. I'll never forget talking about this with my metastatic friend Tom, who told me, I'm a fighter, Carol. I've always been a fighter. He needed the language of war to express his feelings of frustration. When he imagined fighting, he felt power over his body. But in his last days, Tom asked me, how will I know when it's time to let go? And then we talked about death. I sat quietly one day holding his hand when he pulled up out of a deep sleep to apologize. I'm sorry, Carol. I'm so sorry. I almost quit. These are disturbing words from the lips of a dying friend. He was so used to fighting that he equated dying with quitting. So please, try not to think of me as a loser when I die, and don't call me a chicken for not fighting. Cancer is not the local bully that's picking a fight with me. Cancer is not something that I can petition against and win a court case over. The image of fighting a battle to defeat cancer or death is exhausting and only defeats my tranquility. I choose to learn and write about my life right up to the end. No one will defeat death, not with war or peace for that matter.